Well, you read the title. Another day and another reveal that Crunchyroll is allegedly still a terrible company. So, essentially, the gist of the situation is just that so there's basically an employee who needed some time off and to take care of their mother, and management was not too happy with that. So before we get into that story, I do want to highlight that Crunchyroll actually has had so many controversies, but I'm going to go through the two biggest ones that came up recently, because there's been a lot, and I mean a lot of stuff that's been on Crunchyroll. But yeah, so Crunchyroll has been accused of doing a lot of stuff. I mean, there's been stuff where they talk about hiding comments. There's been stuff about UI being really bad and really bad user experience. And to understand, the reason why it's like this is just because one, there is no competition like at all when it comes to Crunchyroll. Like, it is the only like big anime streaming service. And before you talk about Netflix, I'm gonna be honest with you. While Netflix actually has expanded quite a bit over the years, I wouldn't say it's really a competitor. It still mostly streams movies and other TV shows, and on competition with more like Disney Plus and Hulu. So I wouldn't really call it a direct competitor. So essentially, Crunchyroll's had a monopoly on the anime streaming side for a long time, particularly in North America. I don't know about places like Japan. I'm pretty sure Japan has other spots where they have that, but correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong on that. But anyways, before we get into that though, I do want to go over probably the biggest controversy that happened recently in Crunchyroll. And mind you, this one is kind of like federally charged. But essentially, what ended up happening is that one of their voice actors ended up having their fan mail or their mail being opened privately and distributed to their staff. So I actually want to look at a couple of tweets about that situation because it's pretty messed up. So the voice actor here in question is Mr. David Wald, and I don't know exactly what his roles have been over the past years. But if you know anything about voice acting and stuff, there's been so many strikes, so especially when it comes to things like AI in their contracts. And so here is a tweet from October 25th, 2024, which wasn't that far away, by the way. It says here, "Dear friends, if you sent me anything care of Funimation or Crunchyroll in the last 5 years, I apologize. I didn't get it. I learned yesterday that Crunchyroll opened my private mail, threw away your letters, and passed out included items to their staff." Yes, I repeat, he did that. Sorry, they did that. And so just to get an idea of what these items were, so here I have another tweet that he posted, where it says here, "Dear fellow workers at Crunchyroll, below is a photo of the complete contents of one of the packages addressed to me that was opened and distributed to employees. If you ended up in possession of any of it, I would very much like it returned to me." So, mind you, in a situation like this, you don't really blame the employees because, I mean, if you ever had a company giveaway, they usually just kind of have stuff lying around. You could just take what's cool to you. But, so this mail was supposed to be for him. All the stuff's supposed to be for him, but it ended up not, he ended up not receiving it, which is, to say scummy is putting it very lightly. And so, yeah, amongst there's many other stuff that voice actors tend to deal with, this ended up being one of them. So he ended up signing away from Crunchyroll and not associating with them ever again. And I believe some of his roles had to be recast, or one specific role had to be recast very quickly because he got off and he said, "Okay, well, I'm not doing this anymore," which, quite reasonable. But in case you want to know what the official statement from Crunchyroll was, I looked extensively for it, but I couldn't find exactly where a source was. So I did find this article where it just says here, the official statement says, "Anime fans have special connection with dub voice talent, and that emotional expression is important in fueling more love of anime content. We are currently investigating the matter regarding the allegation of undelivered fan mail to a voice actor." Crunchyroll wrote in its reply, "We respect the privacy of all our voice actors and do not intentionally open mail or packages not intended for Crunchyroll. Any fan mail should be directly sent to talent and their management." So you can imagine that he didn't get his stuff, and then the company saying, "Well, actually, we don't touch anything, and we're going to be, we don't do that stuff." So take it or leave it. But anyways, and so if in case you're curious, what exactly is the punishment for this kind of stuff? Well, according to the U.S. Code 1708, theft or receipt of stolen mail matter generally, Whoever steals, takes, or abstracts, or by fraud or deception obtains or attempts to so obtain from or out of any mail, post office, or station thereof, letterbox, mail receptacle, or any mail route, or any other unauthorized depository for mail matter, or from a mail or mail carrier, any letter, postal card, package, bag, or mail, or abstracts, or removes from any such letter, package, bag, or mail, or any article or thing contained therein, or secrets, embezzles, or destroys any such letter, postal card, bag, or mail, or any article or thing contained therein, or whoever steals, takes, or abstracts, or by fraud or deception obtains any letter, postal card, package, bag, or mail, or any article or thing contained therein which has been left for collection upon or adjacent to a collection box or other authorized depository of mail matter, or whoever buys, receives, or conceals, or unlawfully has in his possession any letter, postal card, package, bag, or mail, or any article or thing contained therein which has been stolen, taken, embezzled, or abstracted, as herein described, knowing the same to have been stolen, taken, embezzled, or abstracted, shall be fined under this title or imprisonment not more than 5 years, or both. So, that's a pretty hefty crime in order for that to happen. So this was happening to this voice actor, I believe, for over the course of 5 years. He was not getting any fan mail whatsoever, and to understand that, any form of celebrity, micro celebrity, whatever you want to call it, does get fan mail. So the fact that it went through Crunchyroll and he never received it just goes to show you that, Crunchyroll management is a bit not normal, or a bit, shady, to say the least. Now, the second controversy I want to look at is, it's a bit different, but regardless of, taking stuff from allegedly taking stuff from voice actors, there was the Funimation merger. You'll be asking, what exactly is controversial about this? Sometimes companies merge, it happens. However, to understand this, right, Funimation had been, competition for Crunchyroll for a long time, right? But then all of a sudden they had a merger going on, so basically they had subs and dubs, mingling and mangling. But then Funimation ended, and so everybody's subscription from Funimation went over to Crunchyroll. However, there's a bit of a catch, all right? So first of all, let's take a look at this older version of what the website used to look like. It says here, why should I have Crunchyroll? Crunchyroll offers several benefits of its users. Here are some of the key benefits. Extensive anime collection. Crunchyroll offers a vast library of anime series, giving you access to a wide range of genres and titles. Simulcast episodes. You can watch the latest episodes of your favorite anime series shortly after they air in Japan, allowing you to stay up to date with ongoing shows. They also have exclusive content. They also have a game vault, which, by the way, is just gacha games, in case anyone was curious. Offline viewing, multiple language options, and stream on multiple devices. So, your standard service all around. And of course, you have down there why is Funimation ending. Well, basically, it's just because, they're collaborating with Crunchyroll and allows them to deliver on that mission. Or, who knows, maybe the money ran out. Who knows? But the biggest form of contention, at least that I remember from this situation, at least when I saw about it, was this part right here. What is going to happen to my digital copies? We understand that you may have concerns about your digital copies from Funimation. These digital copies available on Funimation were digital access to the content available on the DVDs or Blu-rays purchased. Please note that Crunchyroll does not currently supports Funimation digital copies, which means that access to previous available digital copies will not be supported. However, we are continuously working to enhance our content offerings and provide you an exceptional anime streaming experience. We appreciate your understanding and encourage you to explore the extensive anime library on Crunchyroll. So, in case you were wondering, so if you basically bought anything from Funimation digitally, that's all your money going down the drain. And so there's always a big talk or conversation about ownership. And people always ask, do I really own the stuff that I buy? And the truth be told is that whenever you buy anything digitally, you're buying an access code, or you're buying a digital license rather, and you own that license. But say they want to take it down or take down the service, you basically don't have access to it anymore. So a lot of people do want to keep, physical copies of stuff because, you bought it, you own it. So that's a very big conversation around, preservation and all that. So, take of it what you will. We're not gonna get into it today, but yeah, no. So, basically, Crunchyroll got rid of a bunch of digital files or digital libraries for people that bought stuff on it, and so that didn't get migrated over. So you can imagine how people felt about it, and so that's just one of the many controversies that dug people's fate in Crunchyroll. Okay, so now that we have a general understanding of how Crunchyroll rolls out, so I found this post. Well, someone sent me this post from r/Crunchyroll, so I do have a subreddit, and so it actually came from another cross post from r/Jobs, and so this is Mr. Sean Hoffman, where Crunchyroll fires an employee after requesting an ADA accommodation to take care of his dying mother. Also gets flipped off by manager on live Zoom call. I'm gonna say allegedly, just because you don't want to be jumping the gun here. So we're actually going to read this post because it's a bit lengthy, but hopefully we actually get a full understanding of what's going on. So just starting off from here, how Crunchyroll treated me after my hardest year. I never imagined I'd be writing this post. I gave my all to Crunchyroll, working nights and weekends, driven by passion for the fans of the platform, even while facing one of the most devastating challenges of my life, my mother's terminal cancer. I remained dedicated to my work. When the stress, depression, and anxiety became overwhelming, I was diagnosed with anxiety and major depressive disorder and requested an ADA accommodation, a reasonable step that should have been met with understanding and support. Instead, I experienced hostility. A manager I didn't even report to cursed me out and made an extremely obscene gesture during a workplace conversation. I documented the incident and reported to HR. Instead of corrective action, I noticed a shift in how I was treated, subtle at first, then more overt. I raised concerns about workplace treatment, professionalism, and respect. Shortly after, Crunchyroll made the decision to terminate my employment, citing a policy violation. Oh my. Then they offered me severance in exchange for silence. The manager in this photo, he remains employed. Meanwhile, I am without income while I care for my mother, a 52-year-old substitute teacher who is battling cancer in a broken U.S. healthcare system that has left her unable to afford treatment. Leadership knew, HR knew, yet this is how they responded. I share this not for myself, but for many professionals out there who face retaliation for speaking up, who are forced to choose between their livelihoods and their dignity. We often talk about company values, and how often do those values hold up when employees need them the most? Have you ever been in a similar situation? How do we hold companies accountable to their own principles? Let's talk. So yeah, so I know LinkedIn is usually a disaster, but this is kind of insane to look at. And so now here's the picture of allegedly the manager flipping off, and if you can't tell, I'm sorry. Honestly, out of all the shenanigans that goes on Crunchyroll, this one probably surprising me the least, because the way they treat their consumers, the way they treat their subscribers, they treat everybody, even their own workers, it's actually insane. And the fact that you can get off with this is kind of crazy. And because, honestly, if you ever work at a company, you'll generally notice that there's company values, you gotta value the team, you gotta do all of that. But then all of a sudden leadership gets, you call it leadership and you go through HR and all that, and nothing ever happens. So yeah. So by the way, if you're paying for Crunchyroll, this is where your service goes to. Oh, allegedly. So you're seeing all that. It's just wow. So a lot to take in. So imagine Crunchyroll somehow getting worse. And by the way, this is how they treat anyone who's not in a manager position. And it kind of goes to show you that especially in today's climate, imagine you are just like a grunt, like a grunt developer or something. You are treated worse than dirt, and it's insane too. And if you ever noticed, especially current jobs, it's a pain to get in. So imagine you fight so hard to get in to be treated like a grunt. It's genuinely mind-boggling, and you wonder why the CEO of a healthcare company just kind of disappeared. But anyways, I don't want to get too into that part of the conversation. But anyways, I'm just going to show you. This goes to show you that Crunchyroll is still a disaster. Well, according to this here, and the fact that the management is treating him that way, or treated him that way, or sorry, is kind of kind of hard to watch. So anyways, but to be honest with you guys, to me, I may not condone piracy on this channel, but hey, if you want people to sail the high seas, this is how you get them to do it. Stuff like this coming out and then getting poor service. So imagine like getting paid to be abused. No one's trying to do that. So that's what you do. But anyways, if you ever want this company to change, though, you gotta speak with your dollar. It's not with your what you call it. Like speak with your wallet, not your words. That's how they usually get the message. So yeah, hopefully there's some change in the future. But yeah, no, my heart goes out to this guy. Really, that's really hard. That's really harsh. And now the fact that he's jobless, just stings even more. But anyways, well, you know, I really, hopefully everything with this individual works out. But I really just wanted to highlight this in particular because, companies tend to get away with a lot of stuff like this. And this is not the only story. I'm sure there'll be many more in the future. But yeah, between your mail getting stolen, all that, yeah, disgusting behavior. But anyways, that's it for today. So if you enjoyed this kind of content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow my socials down in the description below. But yeah, that's it today. I hate Crunchyroll.